All right, so if you're doing business in Indonesia, or even thinking about it, there's an acronym you've got to get familiar with, and fast. It's SJPH. That stands for the Halal Product Assurance System. And look, this isn't just some nice-to-have thing anymore. It's a full-blown legal requirement. So let's jump right in and demystify what this actually means for your company.
So first off, why should you even care? Well, it's about more than just ticking a compliance box. This is about opportunity, a huge one. We're talking about a ticket to the global halal market. And get this, it's worth an incredible $3.2 trillion US. That's trillion with a T. Nailing your certification opens doors to a gigantic pool of customers, not just in Indonesia, but all over the world.
And you know, the pressure is on because the clock is absolutely ticking. The Indonesian government has laid out some very hard deadlines. I mean, as of October 2024, it's already mandatory for all food, all beverages, and all slaughtering services. Next in line, cosmetics and medicines. They're up in 2026. And other goods are following right behind. So yeah, the time for maybe later is long gone. This is the law now.
Okay, so to make this as painless as possible, here's how we're going to break it all down. We'll kick things off with the legal mandate itself, then we'll really unpack what the SJPH system is, get into the nitty-gritty of how you actually implement it, and finally, talk about the people you need in your corner to make it all work. So let's start with the big why. Why is this a must-do? Well, it all goes back to one foundational piece of legislation.
And here it is straight from the source. This quote from Indonesia's Halal Product Assurance Law pretty much says it all. It means products that enter, circulate, and are traded in the territory of Indonesia must be halal certified. There's no gray area there. It's direct, it's crystal clear, and it doesn't matter if you're a tiny local shop or a huge multinational. This is the rule of the game.
All right, so we've established it's a requirement. But what in the world is this SJPH system everyone keeps talking about? Let's unpack that.
You know, the official definition here is actually really telling. The SJPH is an integrated system that a business implements and maintains. I want you to focus on those words: system, maintained, continuity. This tells you right away it's not a one-and-done piece of paperwork. It's a living, breathing process inside your company that has to guarantee halal integrity from start to finish every single day. It's about weaving halal into the very DNA of how you operate.
Okay, this next part is super important because it's where a lot of people get tripped up. Let's make it simple. The SJPH, that's your internal system. Think of it as the engine inside your company that keeps everything running on the halal track. Now, the halal certificate, the certificate halal, that's the external proof. It's the official license from the government, from BPJPH, that says, yep, their engine works perfectly. And you just can't get that license without a solid engine running first.
Here's another way to look at it that I really like. Your SOJP is basically your company's own internal recipe book. It's the master guide for quality control that spells out every ingredient, every step, every single procedure you need to follow to make sure that what comes out at the end is consistently, reliably, and verifiably halal.
All right, now we get to the really practical stuff, the how. How do you actually build one of these SJPH systems and get it up and running in your own business? Let's imagine we're building this for, say, a small coffee shop. There are 5 core things you have to nail. First, materials. Every single thing. Your coffee beans, your milk, even the soap you use to wash the mugs has to be provably halal. Second, your production process. Your brewing area has to be totally separate and safe from any non-halal contamination. Third, your products. You can't name your new drink Bacon Maple Latte even if it's just artificial flavoring. The name can't allude to anything non-halal. Fourth, location and equipment. The space and the tools have to be for halal production only, or you need a really strict cleansing process. And finally, packaging. Your cups, your bags, they all have to be clean and carry that official Halal Indonesia logo. You see, every single step is a checkpoint.
So how do you actually make this happen? Let's get practical. It really comes down to 4 key steps. Number 1, you've got to create a manual. This thing is basically your company's halal playbook. 2, you have to train your team. This is so important. Everyone, and I mean everyone, needs to know the rules and their role. 3, you monitor and control all the time. This isn't a set it and forget it kind of deal. It's constant, active supervision. And finally, number 4, you conduct internal audits. You got to check your own work, find the weak spots, and fix them before the official auditors show up at your door.
And just to really hammer that last point home, that internal audit, it's not just a friendly suggestion.
As you can see right here from this official document, it's a mandatory, documented, reoccurring requirement. You have to do it at least once a year. It's how you prove to yourself and to the government that your system is actually working. So we've covered the why, the what, and the how. But there's one last critical piece of the puzzle, the who. Because, a system is only as good as the people who run it.
And that brings us to a really important role that's actually mandated by law, the Pinyalia Halal. You might know it as the Halal Supervisor. So who is this person exactly? You should think of your Halal Supervisor as your company's internal Halal champion, and really your first line of defense. Their job is to oversee the entire halal product process, the PPH. If something goes wrong, they're the one who figures out how to fix it and make sure it never happens again. They coordinate the whole shebang, and, this is a big one, they're the main point of contact when the external auditors from the Halal Inspection Agency come knocking.
And I need to be completely clear on this. Appointing a halal supervisor is not optional. It's not a choice. Every single business applying for a halal certificate in Indonesia is required by law to have one. This person is the designated owner of your company's halal integrity. It's a serious role.
So, when you put it all together, that SJPH is so much more than just a bureaucratic headache. It's the engine. It's the living proof of your company's commitment to halal integrity day in and day out. It's all about building trust with your customers through a system that's robust, consistent, and verifiable. And let's be honest, that trust is what makes all the difference.
At the end of the day, your halal product assurance system is a promise. It's a promise you make to every single one of your customers and to the regulators. So the real question you need to be asking yourself is this: is your promise strong enough?